There's nothing better than having your first cup of coffee in the morning. Good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, artists and creatives, welcome to Tribal Sounds. My name is Forrest and I'll be your guide this morning. It's a beautiful day. I wanted to share some different insights that I have into becoming inspired. If you're new here, be sure to give a like to the video if you find some of this stuff interesting. If you haven't already, ring the notification bell. Consider hitting the subscribe button because I think you'll be really interested in some of the other videos I have coming down the line. All right, let's jump in. The first way that you can become inspired, changing your scenery. If you are stuck at work inside of a cubicle in an office and then you go home into your house where you think that you're going to be the most creative, you will soon find that that can grow tiring, old, and it will make you less creative. Go outside. If you are indoors all the time, it's really easy to get caught into a rut of, oh my goodness, like you kind of feel depressed, honestly, because you're not getting enough sunlight. Go outside. On the flip side of that, if you're outside all the time and you're getting beat up by the sun, go indoors somewhere cool. Go somewhere that you have interesting things to look at, you can get a new perspective. So I recommend that you go somewhere beyond where you normally go. Another way that you can change your scenery is change your room. If you have a creative space that is adjacent to the bedroom, maybe you move it to a different room in the house, or maybe you temporarily use an office space that's attached to the kitchen. If you only have a couple of rooms in your house, just change the look of your environment. Get plants. Plants are super pretty to look at. You kind of want to just give your mind and your eyes a shock because it will trigger those creative thoughts and you'll think things about different scenery that you didn't have around you before. Get some lighting. Put some posters up on the wall. Get some new art for the room that you like to create in. I think that you'll appreciate that. And I think that your mind will and your creativity will as well. Number 2, set the mood. Set the mood in the most romantic sense for yourself. The reason I say romantic is because this is a voyage into a frontier of imagination. You need to have a moment with yourself where it is just you in your mind. You can get hectic throughout the day. So you want to set the mood for yourself whenever you have time for yourself, whenever you have time for your creativity. So come home and light a candle if you're into candle, and just to add an atmosphere to where you're at. Do any of those things to break up the normalcy of every day, because being creative, we're anything but normal. You want to set the stage. There's no rules to this, and make it look how you imagine your creative space to be. And if you get tired of that creative space, just throw more paint on the walls, change the lights, and do it again. Like, this is an evolving thing. Like, don't be afraid to set it up multiple times. You'll want to change your environment. As you grow as an artist, your room will grow with you. If you haven't already, drop a comment in the section below letting us know how your creative space looks like. Number 3, you've got to partake of art. We together as creatives can help each other grow as creatives. What I mean by partaking of art in particular is surrounding ourselves with it and ingesting that information. You should listen to poetry books or listen to a book that is poetically written. That information will make you grow. If you haven't went to your local art museum or traveled to a local art museum, take the time to go, really take it all in. Get yourself a coffee if that's something you're into. Go and set up a date for you and yourself and art. And go watch some live music. If you're not normally watching live music, and I mean this especially for you musicians out here, if you don't go to watch live music, or you're not into going to concerts or being around people, I urge you to put yourself in that environment. Go and listen to an artist you've never listened to before. Listen to the words that they sing. Listen to how they sing. Listen to how they play. Watch their performance, their stage presence. Is it good? Is it bad? Take notes. But you need to go and absorb some of this. These peers of ours are going to be people who are teaching us along the way. And you'll never know how much they can inspire you if you don't put yourself in those environments. This is how we grow as artists. You will never grow to your full potential just locking yourself away and not noticing what's going on in the world around you. Number 4, learn a new skill or hobby. I think that looking at things through a different perspective, as an adolescent in something that you're learning, just being ingrained behind the ear, it puts you in a vulnerable state, and it makes you really appreciate that journey. The repetition and the dedication to learning something or relearning something is a very good tool to build your mindset, especially in creativity. Once you can get the rudimentary stuff done, you don't have to think about it anymore. Learning a new skill reminds you that there are basics, that you can learn them and that you can overcome them. And then whenever you go to do it, it will feel like second nature. So I think that it reaffirms the fact that we all have like something that we are being creative in, that we are passionate about, and you can look back and think like, oh yeah, like this is super basic. I can go ahead and knock this out. Learning a new skill takes time and patience. You'll learn the terminology, those words, and how you go through the actions using those words are new pools of inspiration in themselves. A word that you might not have used in regular context now has a simile or metaphor attached to it because now you've done it, you've seen it from that perspective. Fresher than a coat of wet paint. Strong as nails. Just think about some of these similes and metaphors you may have heard and how they may have even come up. In the olden days where you're out working on the farm, like you've got now these new strong thematic images that you could reference from these work songs that have been passed down for generations that still exist. If you haven't already and you found any of this interesting, please be sure to give a like, a comment, and consider subscribing. Thank you very much, and I'll talk to you all soon.